Merry meet everyone. Welcome back to Midnight Fantasy Creation. Today I wanted to try to do the poison apple from, what movie was that from? Snow White, I believe. It doesn't have to be from Snow White, but if you understand what movie that comes from, then you'll know what I'm getting at, is basically what I'm trying to say. Because it's still the last week of fall, I want to do something a little bit more on the fall themed, and what's more fall than apples. So today we are going to do a nice apple. And I don't want to do it small, but I don't want to do it big. I think I'm going to do this one, because I don't remember if we did this one for the pumpkin. No, maybe I'll go one size bigger. Yeah, we'll do this one instead. So yeah, we are going to mix up some resin. So I got my cup, and I'm going to use my red Cheap Arts alcohol ink, and I'm going to do my New BS resin. I can't talk today. I'm just filling up the bottom. I'm hoping that it's going to be enough. That one right there. If I have a little bit too much, I'm fine with that, because I'd rather have a little too much than not enough. And we are going to start off with, I don't know if I want to go transparent red. Not transparent red. Essentially, I'm using the green that I had left over from when I did the pumpkin. This should be enough to make the poison ooze over the top of the apple. Oh, awesome. I'm going to make this dark because I don't want it light and I just oozed all over myself. Awesome. And it's stained my table. Okay, good. That was a close call. All right, I'm going to mix this up. Actually, this is a really pretty red. So we are going to put it in this circle, and hopefully I have enough. We're going to do slowly, let all the air bubbles come out of it. Please tell me I have enough. I think I just have enough. Let's flip this around and scrape some more of this out. Oh, okay. I don't want to over pour it, because I definitely want to have a flat bottom for the bottom of the apple. All right, I think that's good. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to put it on top, and I'm going to stick this right inside and have it sit for the full 5 minutes. And I'm going to let all these tools cure while that is waiting. Right. I'll get that cleaned up. What did I do with that rag? Oh, jeez. And clean this off. Push this back. Let's see if we can pop this out. Oh, oh, oh. That's oozing. Okay. Oh, fudge. I might need to put that in there for a little longer. Alright, let's try taking this out again now that it's sat for a little while under the light. There we go, that's better. I just wanted to be able to take it out in one piece. Now I'm going to stick it back in here for another 5 minutes to ensure that it is cured as much as possible. And when that's done, I don't know if that's enough green. I may have made this too big, so I may need to make a little more green. While this is finishing up, I know this isn't going to be enough green, so I may just add a little bit more to the mixture. I don't want to add too much, because I just want enough to cover the apple. And then I gotta figure out what I'm going to do for the stem. I may just leave it green. That should be enough. Oh, and of course we are using the UV putty. This is a no-name brand. I believe I have, on the last video, I linked a name brand on. Wouldn't mind it a little more of a darker green, so I may actually add just a little hint of pigment to it. So I'm taking that putty and I am just working the glitter into it. I did grab too much glitter, so try and grab as much of this as possible. And then add a little more pigment to it. I think that's a good green. Let's see what color green I want to add. I have two greens from Cheap Arts. I do happen to have a Let's Resin alcohol inks. I just do not have them hand. I have that one and this one. I think I'll go with this one. I just want a little tiny little dab. That's a dab, just to see what it'll do. Now, the more alcohol ink you add to your putty, the softer it is going to become, and you are going to need to let it rest before doing anything really with it, or else it's just going to stick to your fingers and everything else, and not be able to use it in your projects. This is just a small dollop, and with the glitter, it isn't that bad. It's still soft, but I've had it softer, so you have to be careful on that. We're going to take our apple, we're going to put the flat side down, and you can tell this is not cured all the way through. In any case, yeah, see, I think I did make too much green now. Oh boy. Let's take half of this and put it aside. If I need it, I'll have it. If not, oh well. It's sticking to me. Just want to roll it out a little bit. Get the basic idea. And then I'm just going to slap it on top. Try my best to not get my fingers in the way. And we are just going to push it down like it's or slime coming down an apple. You may need to let this rest for a little bit. Alright, I'm going to have to let this sit. I'm going to let it sit upside down because it is just sticking everywhere. So I'm going to let this sit for about maybe an hour or two just because it's too sticky to work with and it's just sticking to my fingers. And of course I had the alcohol on there from earlier, so that could be it too. I do want to buy the named brand putty that I put on the last video I did to kind of compare it. It's supposed to be more professional than this no name brand that I don't even know where I got it. So I will be back when this is sat for a little while. Alright, so this has had time to sit, and I already moved this around. It's not as sticky, so hopefully I can get this to work the way I need it to as soon as I get it off this rubber mat. And let's use this. Make sure I'm on the camera. Now, I was making some drip-looking parts that I need to go back over because they obviously aren't there anymore. And as you can see from it sitting, some of this stuff still stuck to it. So wherever this goes, it's going to stay. Just keep that in mind. I should find a picture real quick for reference. So I have my image for reference. It looks like I might need to make a brown stem, but I can make it, it's my own, so I can make it whatever I want. It's not sticking as much as it was before. Oh, that's good. Definitely want to make eyes. And I have more putty left, so if I need to make more, I can. Biggest problem with this is my fingers keep moving stuff. Of course, once you're satisfied with how it looks, let it sit for a few minutes to get rid of any finger marks. And let it settle and smooth out. There's definitely a learning curve in this. That's for sure. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for a second because the more I'm touching it, the more it's moving in places I don't want it to. Take this and look at it a little bit. I want to get some of the poison marks to come up. That's not too bad. But every time I move something, something else moves. Well, that just makes it look like he's smiling. Now I'm going to let it sit. So I'm happy with how that looks for the most part. Now I need to get, while that's sitting, I need to make a brown stem. I don't know how I am going to manage that. So I took a little of the green and some of the orange I had left over to see if I can make it brown, and it just made it a muddier green. So now I'm going to take the, forget the name of this one, syrup pearl, and I don't want to do it too close to that because I don't want to get any syrup pearl in this. But I am just going to add a little syrup pearl to the mixture. Try kneading it around. Oh, that might have been way too much. Yeah, that was way too much. No. That's a pretty brown, though. That should work. See if I can clean up this mess. going to cure this before I mess it up even more than I already have. This out of the way, because this has had enough time to sit. There's some leftover orange. And stick this in here. I'm going to need to clean that. All right. And that is nice and solid. And there's the pumpkin top. There's the poison apple. And now let's make the stem and put it back where I was originally going to stick it. I wanted to do it all in one shot, but of course the stuff is not as forgiving as polymer clay. I don't necessarily have a lot of tools for clay, although I do enjoy occasionally working with it. And I do have polymer clay in my house somewhere, because I did play with it for a little bit. I don't know, is that too big? It does look a little too big. Let's make this a little smaller. Let's try that on for size. That looks a little bit better. And I am just going to stick this just like that under the light. I kind of like how that looks. Nice little messed up stem to go with the messed up apple. All right, and there we have it, our poison apple made out of UV resin. It's going to be the last fall season one. I'm going to start working on winter ones like snowmen. I don't have too many Christmas themed stuff. It's more winter, but I do have some Christmas-like gnomes in the online store. You guys can pick up for the season. You can paint them yourselves, or you can even give them to kids to have them paint themselves, especially if they're little artists and they like painting. And you can find those on my Etsy shop as well as my online store at midnightfantasycreation.com. And of course, if you go on Etsy, it is Midnight Fantasy Create, because I could not fit the shun in there. But that is it for today's video. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. Of course, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you're not new to my channel, welcome back. I thank everyone for their support. Of course, comment below, as long as it's friendly. And follow us on our social media. We have Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And I will see you guys in the next video. Merry part until we can merry meet again. Blessed be. Bye.